Hi, everyone.
Fantastic. Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar, the final webinar actually in our platform basics series. This is a session related to the Yext Analytics solution, really just a beginner's guide to Yext Analytics because there is a lot to learn with this. So thank you obviously for joining us. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us for this specific session. So if you haven't joined Yext webinars previously, just so you know, you are muted for the entirety of the webinar. However, you can submit questions to us throughout the presentation. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you should see a little box with Q&A in it. You can open that box, submit questions, and me and myself and Martina, we will obviously monitor those questions throughout the session. But as usual, we will leave some time at the end of the session to answer your questions, should you have any as well at the end. This session is recorded. You will be able to receive the recording via email tomorrow and the follow-up email as well. And we're, as usual, going to do some polls and quizzes to hopefully make this a little bit more interactive. So yeah, would love to see you engage and interacting with us in that way as well. So my name is Ashley. I'm here on the left here. I have been at Yext for 6.5 years. What do I do at Yext? I manage what we call our concierge services and training services team. So basically, my role here at Yext is to basically ensure that you are enabled on the tool. We're setting you up for success. You've got all the tips and tricks and best practices advice that you need to be able to basically, improve your brand's performance, digital performance across the web, of course, and that, of course, you're seeing value really from the Yext tool.
And thanks, Ashley. For those who doesn't know me, my name is Martina. I'm native Italian and I'm part of the training and enablement team. My role is about creating content, webinar session, training session for all our customers around the world in different languages, so we can help you and support you in your native language. And yeah, I'm working closely with Ash to provide you with the support you need and to get the most out of Yext. So let's start with our key objectives for today. We have, as always, three main objectives. First of all, you understand how to use certain metrics and to have a better insights of how your brand is performing, not only locally, but also globally. Second, you will understand which insights are available for you per each solution you purchase and how you can view them in an easy and digestible way. And third, you will be able to describe and we will show you how to create the reports, how to build your own dashboard, how to create your reports to be able to read your data, and you can turn some insights into tangible action and improve your business. Before we start, we wanted to ask you, as always, you probably know, we want to know you better. We don't have this chance. So let's launch our first poll, which is,
Are you
sorry,
driving this, Martina? Are you driving the polls today?
yeah,
No
launch.
worries.
Cool. So you should probably already log into the platform, and we wanted to ask, have you already used the Yext Analytics solution? If you haven't, no problems, because we will show you how to read your data in analytics, how you can create your reports, your dashboard. Ashley will guide you through a live demo. So let me end the poll and share the results. It's good. We have some people who already use the analytics solutions. You probably know how to do some deep dives, and other never logged in and never use it. So good, no worries, because we will guide you through. So let's move on. So before we start talking about the analytics solution itself, we wanted to understand and have a bigger picture of the platform components. So the Yext Analytics tool is not only tied to one single solution, but it is connected to all of them. So it doesn't matter which one you purchase, you are using, you will be able to see your metrics and data in your analytics. And for those who already joined the webinar we did for the knowledge graph, you might remember that all the information comes from the knowledge graph. This is the place where you collect your data, you organize your data, you add the information in the knowledge graph, and then the knowledge graph powers this information across different solutions. And the analytics tool basically brings the performance of each of this solution in one single place. It's a unified views, a unified platform where you can see the clicks, how your customer are engaging with your brand. You can see the impression. You can see in which digital points your customer are interacting with your brand. So before we start, we need to clarify three main concepts. You will hear about analytics, insights, and dashboard, and we will show you the difference between three of them and how they basically are connecting between each other. So let's start from analytics. We said analytics, it's a unified central source in Yext, and you have access to many different metrics in the analytics. It's a place where you can see how your brand is performing, how you can improve, and what you need to change or what you need to keep doing. You probably understood that in the last decades, the customer journey has changed a lot. It's not a straight line. So people may discover your brand in different ways. Very often we use Google and a publisher like Apple, but we use as well social media. We use the reviews on different publisher. And in the last years, I would say, we are using way more the AI sources. So I use a lot ChatGPT. We are using Perplexity. We use voice assistant, Alexa or Siri with our phone. So you might understand that we can collect different data for different type of touch points. So not only Google anymore. So it's really good for us to centralize and unify this data in one single platform. Whenever you want to track only one specific metric, one piece of data, we call these insights. So you can track different sites and you can decide to have a better understanding of a specific metric to make it clearer and to understand, to zoom a bit on this specific insight, a detail of your data. And whenever you select and you decide to add different multiple insights all together, you create a dashboard. So dashboard, it's a place where you collect your insights, you consolidate them into one single view. So you can put several insights together. If you can click on the, great, thanks you. So you can track, for example, a trend, and you can compare your data on a single time frame, in a month, few months, a week, a year, or since the beginning of your brand. So the dashboard is really, really useful for you because you can share the dashboard also with your team members. So you are not alone and you can have a better understanding of the trends. So now that we clarified the three key concepts, we wanted to launch our first quiz. Let me go back and launch the quiz. So the question is, what's an insight in Yext? A dashboard with multiple metrics, a metric you would like to track, a list of all customer reviews, or a competitor performance report. So remember, there are three key concepts: analytics, insights, and dashboard. What's an insight in Yext? A dashboard with multiple metrics, a metric you would like to track, a list of all customer reviews, or a competitor performance report. I think I can, end the poll and share the results. And the correct answer is, a metric you would like to track. So well done, everyone. And we can now, let me close this one. So we can now see the analytics doesn't track only the performance, but it it organized all the data into one single place where it's clear and you have a better understanding of the customer journey. And we divide the customer journey and we want to measure the customer journey into 3 steps. The first step is the discovery. So discovery helps you to track how many times your business appear in search. Let's take a concrete example. A user's typing in search, how many times your brand is showing, is discovered by a user. Then we want to see the visibility. So it means how many times your brand was viewed. So your listing was viewed, your landing page was viewed. And the third one is the engagement. And engagement means how many times and how your customer are interacting with your brand. Are they clicking on phone call? Are they clicking on get direction? Are they ordering online? So how many times they are interacting with your brand? So let's have a better understanding starting from the discovery. So discovery, it's about how customers are finding your brand. We mentioned many different digital touch points, not only Google, there are many, many other. And let's take an example. I'm based in London and I'm in central London. I need to find an hotel near Piccadilly Circus. So I'm typing. If your brand is appearing in my search, it means that your brand is discoverable. It's discovered by the user. In the case of a restaurant, if someone is typing keywords related to specific dietary menu or specific information, if your brand is showing, it means that you are discoverable. And it's not only about listings, so it's not only about how Google show your listing or how a publisher show your listing. It's also about your landing page, a store locator, how many times customer are looking for specific products, specific services, and your social posts appear in their search. So this is how your brand is discoverable. And then let's move on into visibility. This means how many people view your brand online. So we have 2 examples here of listing and a social post. So how many times your brand is appearing? Hundreds of times in 1 month, few times in a week, in which through which publisher your brand is appearing. And let's take an example when people are browsing and looking for a product. For example, I'm looking for kids clothing shop. How many times your brand was viewed, right? And from discovery, we move to visibility, and then let's move to action. So engagement, sorry. Engagement is whenever users are interacting with your brand, and this means that people are clicking on the call to action button. The call to action button are, for example, liking a post, commenting a social post, or ordering online on your website, looking for, I don't know, clicking on your website menu and clicking on make a call, get direction. So these are the 3 steps, and it's very critical to have a better understanding of all these 3 steps. Before we move on, I have another quiz for you. Let me launch it, which is, when the customer journey discovery shows you the number of times customers click on CTAs, how often your brand appears in search results, the number of reviews you responded to, the revenue from Google Ads. So remember the 3 steps. We want to know discovery shows you the number of time customer clicks on CTAs, so the call to action button, how often your brand appears in search results, or the number of you responded to, the revenue from Google Ads. So let me end the poll and share the results. And the correct answer was the number 2. So how often your brand appears in search results. Great. Let me stop sharing. now now that we saw the customer journey, split it into this three steps, we wanted to show you some real example of insights. So the information you can, the metrics, the information, the insight you are able to see in your analytics for each solution. So we decided to show you, for example, starting from listing. In listing, you might want to know how many times people click through your website last week from a Google listing. For pages, you could track which landing page drives the most conversion. For example, order now or book a table, reserve a table. And for social, it's you will be able to understand how people engage with your post. So are they engaging with how many clicks? How are they interacting? Are they commenting? And the last one is search and chat. And this will allow you to see what customer are typing in the search bar or in the chatbot. Which type of question are they asking? Are they asking, for example, how can I refund? Which are the refund policies? Or can I amend my order? What's the delivery time? What about there's a delay? Right? So you will have all these insights in your analytics. And yeah, now that we have our live demo, I'll hand over to you, Ash. So you will see how many information you are able to see in your analytics dashboard.
Awesome. Thanks, Martina. Thank you for the beginner's guide, first of all, in terms of theory for all the analytics that we can track. So I'm just going to move into the platform now, into the Yext tool. So just confirm, Martina, you can now see the homepage of a
Yes, I
Yext
can.
account.
Yes.
Fantastic. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit to make it a bit clearer for everyone. So when you log into Yext, you will see your home page. What you want to do is you want to scroll down here on the left navigation panel down to the Analytics tab here at the bottom. As usual, when you left click, it's going to open a series of sub-tabs related to analytics. You've probably heard a lot today. We've spoken a bit about dashboards. Yeah, so we're going to look at dashboards, and we're also going to look at the report builder for today's beginner's guide. So when we click onto dashboards, it's going to take you to a new screen here where you're probably going to be like, oh my God, there is so much information and so much data. Where do I start? Believe me, we've all been there. Yeah, we've all been there, but just go through it systematically. And I'm going to give you some tips to show you what you can specifically do here. So let me just zoom in a little bit more actually, because there's a lot of numbers and everything as usual. I'm just going to scroll over here a little bit first of all. So one thing I want to call out first of all is the behavior of the analytics tool. So you will always see data for everything that you have access to in your account. Okay. So if you have access to all of the stores that are stored in the knowledge graph or all of the restaurants that are stored in the knowledge graph, you will see automatically an overview and data related to all of those entities all together. Okay. So that's what Martina was mentioning earlier. That's the global view. Now you're probably wondering, okay, well, actually, I want to see data for a specific entity or something like this. So always look here at the filters. Always start here at the top at the filters. So if I click here, all entities, what you can do here, and for today's demo account, what we've got is we've got products, we've got locations, and we've got brands, right? Yours will look differently depending on how you're leveraging the knowledge graph. So let's say, for example, locations, I wanted to just see this for this Amplifon store here, for example, okay? I only want to see metrics for this store. You would click on that, click on apply, and then the dashboard is basically going to reload and it's going to show you data for that specific entity. Now, you may have seen as well on the filters, you have other ways to filter your data. So you could filter to a specific folder. Your folders, again, are how you have organized your knowledge graph. They could be organized into different franchisees, different brands that you may have. It could also be geographical regions. Yeah, could be, for example, like UK stores, Ireland stores, or Wales, or Scotland, or Southwest, or France, or Europe, or whatever it could be. So if you wanted to look at the performance of a certain folder that you have created, this is how you would filter there as well. And then the last filter is what you can always do is you can filter on labels. Now, labels are specific tags, as we call them, or words that you can apply to multiple entities across different folders. So let's say, for example, in 2025, you had 5 new stores opening across different geographical regions. So it could be, in other markets that you may have. So not just the UK, but maybe potentially Germany or Spain or whatever. And you could put new stores, you know, new stores globally or new stores England, for example, and you wanted to track how they're performing in their first year of business. The next filter you should always be aware of is the time period. Now, as a default, it will always be stuck here at last 12 weeks. Sorry, I probably shouldn't use the word stuck because you can modify it. It will be set to 12 weeks, but you can modify that. So for example, let's say I wanted to see the data for last month. Remember, I've still got the filter on that one specific store here, and I wanted to see the data for last month. Okay. You filter there to the last month period, and then you'd be able to go through and look at the data for that specifically. Please note as well, okay, just going to mention this very briefly. We have here these account dashboards at the top. If I zoom in a little bit more, we have for every single account or every single customer that we work with, these default dashboards. Okay, so there's default dashboards here that are related to the Yext solutions that you have purchased. So you'll see a location summary if you've purchased listings, if you're using Yext for your listings. You will see review summary if you're also using Yext to monitor and respond to reviews. You will also see search if you're also using the Yext search solution. And you will also see this social summary dashboard if you're also using the Yext social solution. Okay, so you will see these default dashboards that you can start to play around with just to understand what type of data is available for you to track. Okay, relating back to what Martina said with all regards to the customer journey. Now, what you'll also see here is potentially this legacy comment here in brackets. So Yext is or has different API connections for the publisher partners that we work with. This is particularly for listings. Okay, so let's take Google as an example. Yeah, what we do is we pull in the metrics that Google is able to track on via Google Search and Google Maps. If Google decides, we want to change the way we track this metric, or we want to introduce a new metric, we are at the mercy of that. We will adjust our API and we will adjust the Yext tool to be able to then be able to track that new metric. So if you see legacy here, that's because the metrics here specifically, for example, this, are no longer tracked. And you'll see a message here. If you can see, maybe if I zoom in a little bit more, you will see a message here. That does not mean that you can't track this anymore. It just means there is a new metric or new insight that you'll need to use to be able to track this. And you're probably wondering, well, actually, this is super ugly and it's super annoying. Why have you kept this here? I can't track this. It's for historical data. Okay, there is historical data. We want to keep these metrics here. So if you wanted to track, for example, performance before October 2024, you would be able to do that specifically here with that metric. What you'll also probably see as well is sometimes we add some little disclaimers here at the top. Okay, so again, we to be able to pull listings metrics from our publisher partners, we obviously rely on them to send us that data as well. So if there is any kind of technical issue or any delays, we will give you the heads up here to let you know, okay, there is a slight delay here, particularly with Bing data. Okay, not to worry about. We're always looking to fix this. It's just a disclaimer, just in case you're wondering, why can't I see any Bing searches? And you start to panic and it's like, no, everything's fine. There's just a delay. Okay. Now, when you're here on the dashboard, what I'd recommend is to go through to the specific metrics. So you're going to see here what we call modules. This is a module. This is a module. This is a module. Okay. These are different modules. And each module has its own title. Okay, so we've got here attribute changes. Actually, I'm going to stop filtering here and I'm going to go back to reset all and apply because I think yes, this is a little bit better. Cool. Um, so you're going to see the different names here. If you hover the mouse over the little eye symbol, it's going to give you the definition of that specific insight, what is being able to track. Yeah. So recommend if you're unsure what that is actually telling you to click, or you don't even need to click, to be honest, you just hover the mouse over it and it shows you what the definition is. So here it says the number of attribute changes over the time period broken down by field. The second column shows the number of listings updated as a result of these changes. Yeah, so this is related to the updates that are made directly in the knowledge graph that are then synced to those listings. I'm not going to go through every single metric. This is one of your action items to take away from today's training. But then here, if I scroll down here, you're going to see some beautiful colors. Okay. So you can also see, for example, this is listing searches. So this is saying the number of times your listings appeared in search results on our network sites. This is across the publisher network. This does not include searches on Google, Bing, Yelp, or Facebook, because it will include what we call our extended network, the other long tail publishers. You can see the device usage. So you can see here the listings device usage. So again, if you click on hover the mouse over the eye, the number of times your listing appeared in the search results on each device type, desktop, mobile, tablet, unknown, etc. And then you can also see usage here over time. So this is a default dashboard for listings. Let's just look at the review summary as well. So this is a default dashboard for reviews. Okay. Again, this is a demo account. Yours will have real data in it. I am pretty sure it won't have all of the missing data here. But again, you can go through and you can see performance related to the customer reviews that they are submitting related to your brand. So you can look at the response rate, for example, what percentage of reviews are you responding to? If you joined yesterday's session, you should all know the answer is 100%. Yeah. Average response time. You're seeing how the average response time, the time it's taking for you to respond to reviews. 5,000 hours here, not good. Yeah. We recommend responding to anything within 48 hours. Yeah. Negative reviews even before then. Yeah. You can see the number of reviews are getting over a certain period of time. You can see the weekly average rating as well. So it just gives you really a quick kind of overview summary, depending on how you're using the filters here at the top to see specific data and performance for your brand. Now, what we've also got here are these personal dashboards on the left. So these have been created by colleagues of ours just for the testing purposes. So you can also create your own custom dashboard if you would like to. And the way you do that is by clicking here on the top right-hand side on this Add Custom Dashboard. When you do that, okay, what you're going to see is you're going to see, first of all, the solutions that you have purchased. Yeah. If you're not using social, you're not going to see social dashboard here. If you're using Yext for pages, you will see pages here for landing pages or the store locator. So it all depends on what you're specifically using Yext for. As Martina mentioned at the start, every Yext solution comes with analytics. That's part of the whole feature. Yeah. When you go here, you'll be able to scroll through and see what insights are available to you. Yeah. Remember that legacy it's no longer being tracked in that certain way. However, you will be able to find the new way that metric is being specifically tracked. Okay. So it's not gone forever. It's just, again, different. If we look at social, for example, Martina was mentioning earlier about the customer journey. You can see everything from discoverability to visibility to engagement. Yeah, so you could look at Facebook post engagements, Instagram, etc. So you can go through here and see, what you specifically would like to track. And as you can see, there is a lot that you can choose from. Again, you're going to see, as usual, the definition of each specific insight that's going to give you more information about this as well. Okay. So that's how you create a new dashboard. What can you do as well, particularly with dashboards? So what you can do here is, I'm going to use the notification tab. So this first feature is let's say you've created your own dashboard, okay, or you're using a default dashboard, which is also totally fine. You can create a notification. Yeah. So you want to be notified on monthly performance, for the previous month, for example. Okay. One thing I will say as well, very important to note, is there is a period of what we call data cleansing with Yext. So you will be able to see sometimes data up to a few days previous, but we always recommend to wait around 2 weeks. This is because we want to ensure that the data that we are receiving is accurate. So there is a slight, I don't like to use the word delay because it sounds negative, but there is a slight delay period during which we will cleanse that data and ensure that is accurate. So if you're on a dashboard and you see there's like loads and loads of impressions, then it suddenly drops in the last week or two, please don't panic. Yeah, I appreciate it's probably not the best UI feature there. It's just because the data is being cleansed. So back to the notifications then, if you're looking to see data for the previous month, just wait like a week or two just to make sure that you're getting all of the accurate data and it's all there ready for you to view. You can also export. Okay, so you can download a PDF if you wanted to share that. I would use that, for example, for a presentation that you have to do. You can do it via that. You can also email this to other colleagues that you have, or you can simply share a PDF link as well for them to also view. Once you've already started building your dashboard, you can click here to configure. Yeah, so this dashboard has currently 3 insights on it. If you wanted to click here on configure, this is basically like the add a new dashboard tab, right? Once you've added the dashboard and you've got a new one, you'd use configure to basically build it out. What you can also do as well is, if it's going to work for me, let's click on configure and let's do, I don't know, let's just do this one here, for example. Once you've gone there, let's hope it's going to work for me today. It allows you to drag and drop the modules into different places as well. Okay, so if you wanted to see a new, if you said, well, actually, I want my listings overview at the top, I don't want them at the bottom, you can drag and drop those as well for you to be able to view in a different way. So that's the dashboard tab. Martina, have I forgotten anything? I'm just thinking if I've forgotten anything that you think I should mention.
No, but we can launch 2 quizzes before we
Great
go
idea.
to the report one. So let me launch the first one. Can you see it, right, Ash? Great. So the question is, what is the main advantage of a dashboard in Yext? It allows you to filter it to the entity level. It brings multiple insights into one central view. It displays performance data across all solutions. It compares your data to competitors automatically. It's a single choice, so you can choose only one. I see people voting. And let me end it now and share the results with everyone. And the second one was the correct one. So the main advantage is to bring multiple insights into one central view.
Correct, exactly. Thanks, everyone. Just because I saw there's another option here that was voted on, it allows you to filter to the entity level. That is true of dashboards, but it's also true of the report builder, and we will get to that in a second. So, yeah, just to clarify that.
And the second one is, what do impressions represent? Customers booking a service, users viewing your brand's listing, calls placed from your listing, and competitors you are tracking. So what do impressions represent? Customers booking a service, users viewing your brand's listings, or calls placed from your listing, competitors you are tracking. Let me end the poll and share the results. Great, everyone responded correctly. So if user viewing your brand's listing, well done, everyone. And yeah, I think for dashboard, we are good.
Awesome. I think we received a question, Martina. I'm just going to have a
Oh,
check
yeah,
to see if it's related to
yeah.
dashboard. Oh, great question. Can you get visibility on how you compare against your competitor? So the answer is yes, but it comes at a cost. And it's here under Search Tracker. Okay. That is a separate license that is purchased via Yext. So you need to actually purchase the what we call competitive intelligence, and that will allow you to see how you compare against your competitors. We also have, and I'm not going to go into it right now, but we are doing a webinar, not myself, but my colleagues are doing a webinar on something called Scout. Okay, Scout is a new solution of ours, a new product of ours. And I can't remember when the webinar is. I think it's next week. So if you go on the Yext website, you can find it. What Scout does is it allows you to see how your specific locations are performing against your competitors across the SEO kind of space. So it pulls, not just listings, so you can see like how you're ranking in Google. You can see obviously your customer reviews, how you're ranking as well. But also what it can do is it can pull how you're ranking in AI search. So as Martina mentioned earlier, we're seeing a huge, huge, huge shift as well, and huge growth in that spectrum, searching on ChatGPT, searching on Perplexity, etc. So that obviously also is an extra feature that you need to purchase, but is absolutely 100% available. So I would really highly recommend to maybe Google Yext Scout webinar or something. I'm sure you'll be able to find it and really highly recommend that you join that.
It's on the 24th. I just double check. Yeah, just so you know.
Thank you, Martina. Thank you. Cool. So I think we should move to the report builder.
Yes.
So, sorry, it's just loading as usual. Okay. On the report builder, you will see specific insights and metrics. And this is where you'll be able to play around with how they are displayed. So what you will see here on the left-hand side are basic reports. Again, as usual, these basic reports relate to what solutions you're using with Yext for your digital presence. Okay. So if you go there, for example, and you click on, I don't know, post views, if you're not using the social tool for Yext with Yext, then you won't be able to see any metrics. So just to clarify this, first of all. Okay. So I'd recommend, for example, if I go through Google search term impressions. So this shows you the number of times your listings appear in the search results. So it could be a branded or an unbranded search. Martina alluded to this earlier. So it could be, someone searching for a specific name of a restaurant or store, or it could just be someone searching for, I don't know, clothes store near me, vegetarian restaurant near me. That's obviously an unbranded search. Yeah. So this shows you the Google search term impressions over a certain period of time. What you can do here on the right-hand side is basically input some parameters to change the way that you're viewing that data. So if we start here on the right-hand side of this panel, we've got, first of all, here, the chart type. So the chart type here, the default one is a line. You could go here to an area chart, yeah? Or you could go here to a bar chart. Remembering these colors, this is how they appear on the dashboard, okay? So this is how you can basically build a specific module, put in the parameters you need, and then add it to a custom dashboard so you can view it all nice and lovely on the dashboard and send to your colleagues if you need to, or get the monthly report. So those are the dashboard options. Next, as we have usual, we have the time range. Please, please, please always be aware of the time range that you're looking at. So it's got the default here as last 12 months. Let's say, for example, I want to see something for last month. The difference here is on the dashboard, whenever you apply a filter, it will automatically reload and change. But on the report builder, you'll need to apply those changes. So I'm just going to apply those changes now. And you're going to see here how this changes. I'm in a demo account, okay? So this is why you're not seeing everything working as correctly as it should be, but for you, this shouldn't happen. Let's now look at the other parameters you can give in. So the metric is the first one. The metric is related to the insight. This is what you can input to say, what do you want to track? What do you want to see? That's tied back to the customer journey. Is it discoverability, visibility, or engagement? And the next one is the dimension filter. And the dimension or parameter, let's say, sorry, that is related to how you want that data to be displayed. Okay, how do you want to see that metric? It could be, for example, you want to see the performance of that specific insight metric month over month, year over year, day per day, week over week, could be per entity, right? You want to see it separately per entity. Then the last one here is filter by. If you want to really drill down even further, you can, okay? And you can apply certain filters here to be able to see specific data for one certain thing. So I'm going to now build you, okay, and show you step by step a new insight that I want to track. Top tip here, always click X, always remove the parameters that are set here. They'll always be set as a default. Remove them, first of all, okay? And start here with the metric. So for the metric, I want to track, what do I want to track? Let's have a look. Let's go back to those Google search term impressions and see Google search term impressions and see hopefully if it works. So that's my metric. How do I want to see this? When you click on dimensions, okay, you'll see a lot of options here. And I know there's a lot, okay, but you will learn with time how you can dimension certain things. Not every metric can be can be dimensioned in a certain way. So I want to see this, let's say for a time period. Oh, I want to see it month over month. Apply. So now I'm going to see, hopefully it has data. Awesome. So I'm now seeing the Google search term impressions for the time period or dimension it month over month. Now, the reason it's only showing me August is because I've put the time range as last month. So now I want to see this, for example, last 12 months. Apply. So now I'm going to be able to see this for the past 12 months. I don't like this bar chart. I want an area chart, changing my chart. Okay, so now you can see, month over month, the kind of trends. That's what I wanted to see. And if you scroll down here, you're going to be able to see the specific number of Google search term impressions, okay, per month, so month over month. So this is obviously September 2024, October, November, etc. Now, let's say, okay, I've seen this month over month, but I want to see this per entity, right? I want to maybe discover which stores are performing better than others. I want to view this now for all entities. So I've added another dimension, yeah? So this is now going to show me, okay, all of the entities I have available that I'm able to track Google search term impressions for. I am pretty sure if you were to try this right now in your accounts, it's going to show you a lot of data because you've probably got a lot more entities. Like I said, this is just a demo account. So if that's a bit too overwhelming, what you can do is you can download a CSV or download as Excel and use Excel to look into that data, yeah, and use formulas or however you want to filter it by. But what you could also do is actually, I only want to see this for a specific entity. So I'm going to remove this parameter and I'm going to put in filter. Entities, entity. This filter is a bit annoying. You have to select entity and then select a filter and go back into it. And I'm going to choose location. Hopefully I'm able to pull something for this. It's going to load. Okay, it's not going to work, but what this will do is it will show you the Google search term impressions month over month for only this specific entity. If you wanted to look at a certain store's performance, for example, a new store that you may have. Yeah. I'm conscious of time. Martina. You're gonna have to tell me how I'm doing and if I'm missing anything, because I know I can talk a lot. So now I'm going to show you another thing that you can also do. One last time before we go back to the deck to finish off and answer your questions. Now I'm going to stick with Google search term impressions. Now I actually want to see what consumers have typed that have resulted in my locations surfacing in those results. Yeah, so this goes back to the branded, unbranded thing. So add dimension, and obviously I know this because I've been at Yext for a long time, but I know that I need to search for raw search term. My advice to you is after today's session, just go into analytics and play around with these metrics and dimensions and see what works and see what doesn't work. See how it works for you. Yeah. So now I'm going back here, raw search term, and here's the example. Furniture stores near me has been typed into Google, and this has resulted in my locations being surfaced 511 times. What this really helps you with is to understand what keywords are related to your business and what ones are performing. Use those keywords in your listings. Use those keywords in customer reviews. Ask them to review. Use these keywords in social posts if you have social. The more keywords you have, the higher chance is that you're going to be ranked higher. And the AI search engines are going to be able to find and source you a lot better because they're always looking for keywords, and then they're going to read those reviews to find reputation of what's good and what's not good. Anything I've missed, Martina, before we go back to the deck?
No, it's pretty much. We can
Cool.
end this live demo with the last two quiz we have, and then we can move back to our presentation.
Yes, I'm getting there now.
Do you want me to launch the
You can do. Do we have another quiz? I think so, right?
two, like the first one,
Yep.
eight. Which of these is not an example of an action? Clicking on get direction, viewing your listing, calling your business, reserving a table. So only one of these is not an action. So clicking at direction, viewing your listing, calling your business, or reserving a table. And it's time to end the quiz and share the results. Good job, everyone. Correct answer, viewing your listing. So it's the only one that is not an action. And we have the last knowledge check for today, which is if you cannot view analytics data in the tool, what could be the possible reasons? So it's a multiple choice quiz. Analytics is broken. There's a delay for cleansing and accuracy. Reports are only updated monthly. Your account is new, and there is no sync connection between Yext and the publisher in question. So if you cannot view analytics data in the tool, what could be the possible reasons? I see people voting. That's great. And let me end the quiz and share the
Oh,
results.
interesting. Interesting. Okay, so let's have a look. So you can see the correct answers now. So yes, you may remember I mentioned there's a slight delay. Okay, so don't worry about that. That is standard. Just for ensure the data is accurate. If you're also a new account, if you're brand new to Yext, you've just started using a certain solution, like you've just started using listings or you've just started using social or whatever, it will take a few weeks to pull in that new data. So again, not a problem. It's expected behavior. Then the last thing is if you're looking for listings metrics, if you did join our listings webinar, everything is tied to that connection. Is it synced? Is it in processing? Is it not synced? Is it opted out? We cannot pull any analytics data for any listings that are not synced. They must be synced. Okay. So if you're trying to pull data for a specific entity and you can't see any data for that entity, check the listings tab. Yeah. Is there a synced connection between Yext and that specific publisher? Cool. Thanks, Martina. I think that's all the quizzes and everything done today. So I'm going to resume. So in summary, what are the benefits of Yext Analytics? Firstly, course, you're going to be able to measure brand visibility. You're going to be able to see trends over time. Maybe you've run a certain campaign. You're going to see how that campaign has, impacted your brand visibility. You're going to know what went well, what didn't go well, and obviously then put in new potential campaigns or choices to ensure that you can maintain that visibility over a certain time. You'll understand specific customer needs. So this goes back to those search terms that I said. What are customers searching for? What do they want? Is there a certain keyword that you want to use to surface your results, but you can't see it? There you go. You can add those keywords, ask people to submit reviews, put them on your listings, in the description, place that keyword as many places as you can. So you'll be able to basically here identify more strategic opportunities related to your specific brand and its performance. Yeah. And then lastly, as well, of course, you can track the engagement and conversions over specific times. Yeah. You can tie everything back to the customer journey from discovery to visibility to action. Where are people clicking? Yeah. How well is the book now CTA clicking, or people not clicking on it? Maybe it's too far low on the screen. Maybe you should move it up. Allows you to make all of these different decisions to see how people are actually interacting digitally with your specific brand. So here are your action items from today's webinar for this beginner's introduction. Yeah. Firstly, log into your account, go to the dashboards tab, have a look. What insights are available to you? Yeah, you are going to see data related to all of your specific entities that you have compared to the demo account I had. And use or just click on that I button, hover the mouse over the I button to see what a specific metric is telling you if you're not sure. View a basic report in the report builder. If you remember, the report builder is the next tab. The basic reports are all on the left. Okay, they're like default reports. You could track the Google search time impressions, as I showed you, for your brand for the past 12 months. You can see month-on-month trends. Okay, you can drill that down if you wanted to even further. And then try and build a new report and track an insight of your choice. Remember, so that's related to the panel on the right-hand side with the different parameters that you can input. Remember to remove all of those parameters first and start from the top and go down. Not every metric can be dimensioned in a certain way, but you can then add certain filters to add that, to look down and drill down into that data even more. To be very honest with everyone on with our audience today, the best way for you to learn and feel comfortable with analytics is to trial and error. Yeah, you need to use the tool. Yeah, I know it looks a bit overwhelming at the start and there's a lot of numbers and data and everything, but the best way is really just to trial and error and go through and test it yourself, because that's how you're going to find different ways to dimension and display the data you want to see. And then obviously the graphs and everything that you want to see and how you want that data to be displayed. Do we have any questions, Martina, that have come in?
Yes, we have a question. You mentioned Google. What kind of information insight you can get from Apple listings?
So Apple as well, you can pull the search tabs. You can also pull the place card views. You can also pull the actions, so the Apple place card actions. So another recommendation, actually, which I actually just remember now, I forgot to share. When you go to the report builder and you remove all the filters or parameters, let's say, and you start clicking on the metric tab. You may remember when I clicked on the metric tab, there was a drop down menu, which basically split all of the different metrics into or related them back to Yext solutions. So there was listings, there could be search, there could be social. When you go to listings and you hover the mouse over listings, it will open another kind of drop down menu. Move the mouse over there and scroll down through those. You're going to see all of the metrics that are available to you for listings, also for Apple and other publishers, and a definition. Yeah.
It's the only question we have at the moment.
Cool. We'll continue then, because I know we're nearly at time, because
Yeah.
I spoke a lot as usual. But obviously you can still submit questions to us if you want to. Here's our help center as usual. There's lots of information, lots of helpful resources there if you wanted to, read up a few more things about analytics today. The competitive intelligence, the search tracker, we had a question on that. If you wanted to familiarize yourself a little bit more, you could go to also our hitchhikers.yext.com. There's some information there on the search tracker and competitive intelligence. And of course, if you have any specific questions related to your account or anything today, you can always reach out to our support team at help@yext.com and they'll be able to help troubleshoot that as well. We will be back with webinars. So this was the last in the series of Platform Basics webinars. So we will be back. I'm not sure how you find us, if this was promoted via a support ticket you had, or if you were on you read our marketing email, or if a Yext colleague of ours reached out to you and told you to join. We will be doing more. We would love to see you in future webinars. We're going to collect all the feedback we've got, basically apply that, and this will now be a regular occurrence that we do. So we would love to see you on future webinars. And of course, this was basically our Platform Basics series, getting you started. We want to move on to obviously other topics that we have as well. Martina's just shared in the chat. Go on, Martina.
Yeah, just share with you the next webinars we are hosting in different languages, so in German, French, and Italian. Just remember it's platform basics, so it's really the basics for what is the platform about, how you can use the knowledge graph. So if you're interested, please check the link that I posted in the chat. And as Ashley mentioned, of course, we will be back with other insightful webinar. Hopefully they will be helpful for you. And
Thanks, Martina. Yes, if you do have any teams in continental Europe, we are going to be running language-specific webinars as well. So if you want to share those, that would be great. And I think, yeah, we'll leave it there for now. If there's no more questions, thank you to everyone who joined today. Please fill out the survey. I know I say this every single time, but your feedback is so, so, so important. We're doing these webinars for you. Yeah. What do you want to learn more about? Please tell us. What have we done great that we should keep doing? What can we do differently? So yeah, we'll collect all that feedback, and yeah, just keep an eye out on any email notifications from Yext, or we're looking to build a landing page on our website for future webinars we're going to do. So please keep an eye out for that. And we hope to see you again in the future on future sessions.
thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.